stupid. So meanwhile, at the precise moment that Carolyn Leavitt does that press conference, Elon Musk breaks. And he says a tweet, "I'm sorry. I just can't stand it anymore. This massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination. Shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong. You know it." Okay. What does Elon know that we don't know?
I don't know.
Or does he think that the Office of Budget numbers are accurate? I don't know. See, this is the thing. You know, in elementary school, show your work. Show your work.
Yeah.
Right. As parents, when we see the kids' Common Core math, we're like, show your work. And we're like, what's that?
Yeah.
That's how I feel here. Like, show your work. Well, here's a bunch of papers. What am I looking at?
First, you got to take all these tens and you got to separate them out. And, then
and these decimal places, it's good to move a few. Yeah. And yeah, exactly. Like, so, okay. So a couple things going on here. Here's Steve Bannon talking about this. So he has on this, Caputo reporter who, and this is what they say.
Because these are a brutal set of tweets that came out really on the eve of President Trump meeting at the Finance Committee of the Senate. And President Trump really working hard on this bill, big time.
And to be clear, like CNN said it pretty right, is this was, and I put in my story, this was timed to happen when Caroline Leavitt, the White House press secretary, was at the podium. This was done by Elon Musk. Don't sell him short. This is done to cause maximum damage and impact. It was personal from Elon Musk. His feelings were hurt.
But that's my point. He did it to maximize the damage and to embarrass Caroline, the president, the White House, all of it, and make it harder and listen, we have problems with this bill also, but there's a way to do things.
So on Bannon's War Room, they have figured out that this is not the discretionary spending bill, which is mandatory, or the other way around. Right. This is the one where it's going to do the structural, but they can go change these budgets after the fact. The next one is the one that's discretionary spending that they can't change those budgets after the fact. So that's where the real cuts are supposed to come. And those can come in series. It's like $9 billion rescissions package, sign it off. I think what they're going to do is they're going to break those up into like PBS, NPR, and then a couple other things. And it's like, I dare you not to defund NPR and PBS. Because that's really popular to do amongst the, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So they'll defund it. And then they'll send another one that'll have one or two really popular rescissions with a bunch of other smaller stuff that normally would make it through. Like would be nobody's going to die on that hill in front of the public to keep funding a tortoise study in the Nevada desert.
Right. It'll be like the reverse of a pork-filled bill.
Yes. Where it's like, I dare you, like, how are you going to sit up and be like, I cannot defund the lying Pravda NPR because the tortoises in Southwest Nevada are being threatened by wild Mustangs. You know what I mean? Like that's the kind of, they're not doing it. Yeah. They're going to be like, defund NPR, F you tortoises. Okay? Yeah. So that's, I think, what they're setting up. I don't know. I've watched Elon Musk in front of Trump. I've seen the things they said about each other. There's a part of me that feels like if you're talking about some collusion on how to pincer move the House and Senate, this is it. How to get the weak rhinos through Elon Musk that are afraid of Elon Musk to be primaried by him, right? To start chopping off the pork now and give the structural changes, while at the same time Trump's like, we're going to get this bill. I got the blackmail on you. You know what I mean? It feels like a pincer move. Trump says, I'm as big as fiscal hawk as anybody. We have a country to rebuild. So he does need an increased budget for some things, but he needs to also get some structural changes, which would then allow him to clean up the ground troops of the left, aka all these illegals, which would then take away their ability to counter move later down the road when you start having marshals walking into the Senate.
I love your vision. I'm concerned.
Of course, it's all just, I mean, we're just randomly, you know, I mean, I'm not Q, but I'm T, you know.
Well, my brain is going, Oh man, does Elon know something about Trump that we don't, and that he's really part of the machine, just like all the other blob monsters? It's like,
so here we are, and I want to show you this. So we're on Elon Musk here. So I scroll down a couple little bit, and again, Elon is an eccentric. He's just going to tweet stuff this because it's fun, but he's also very focused, and he's not ignorant to the media and stuff like that. Clearly. Yeah, so he had this tweet just the other day. I
actually believe that your thought logic pattern is way better than my fear.
Well,
more likely.
Yeah. So here, Elon Musk, just prior to this, earlier in the day, he says, "Don't even read the legacy media. It's just noise and propaganda. I stopped long ago." Legacy news attempts to answer the question, "What's the worst thing on earth today?" That is sure to make you sad. So what does he want to do? So what's the legacy news with that? Hours before, Carolyn Levitt goes, "The budget's bunk. You can't listen to those partisans over there that are saying this bill's going to cost money. We're telling you it's 1.7 trillion in savings. We're confident." And you've got the House over there going, "Please don't arrest me." Okay. But I want to make I've got blackmail from two angles here. I've got to vote for Trump's bill, but I got to cut some pork, but I got to leave some pork to not expose myself. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, these are real things that are going on in all these people's heads, especially when you factor in the personal liability that some of them may have. I mean, we know that now. It's just a matter of who. You know, who's going to be the next Bob Menendez? Who's going to be the next George Santos? And by the way, there's going to be a lot of people, and I don't know, I don't know what the number is. Somebody, somehow, if things go down where people start being held accountable, you're going to have a lot of people that we're going to look at and go, why are they being charged with tax fraud and not murder? Al Capone story. Right? It's going to be one of those deals. Like they're going to get them on something that we're like, but not
RICO charges.
Yes. Yeah. Not RICO. You're getting them on something to listen. The process is the punishment. Okay. It doesn't matter what you're going through. Your life gets peeled apart when you're going to trial with prison on the line. Yeah. So he's saying, don't believe the legacy media. Simultaneously, right? So after he tweeted, I just can't take it anymore, he starts tweeting out some Rand Paul, who says he's not going to vote for the bill because the cuts aren't deep enough, which again, if your actual goal is to make cuts, this is a good play, right? Get the squishes that are afraid of being primaried to get the pressure to push towards the Rand Paul side of the cuts, which everybody's happy with the cuts. Yeah. And but Rand Paul also has some conflicted interests too. He runs on the fiscal hawk thing, but I should have pulled up. He's got some conflicting interests too as to other very plausible explanations why he might not want to vote for this bill. Okay. So even some of our heroes, like, again, don't get too attached. So then he goes on and he just continues to talk about, he posts a whole bunch of stuff about budget numbers and things like that. Okay, so mainstream news, Politico, this is that Mike Caputo story. Actually, no, this is Lisa Kaczynski, Mia McCarthy, and Catherine Tolley McManus, because not one, takes three people to write an article. Musk's latest mega bill bomb. If we put our heads together, Ron, we could really accomplish a lot.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, we could totally kick out 2,000 words a day. We could probably even bring in a third. Elon Musk's declaration that the GOP's domestic-style mega bill, the centerpiece of President Trump's legislative agenda, is a disgusting abomination, rocketed around Capitol Hill on Tuesday and frustrated a host of Republican lawmakers. So this is coming from the German-owned blog called Politico that was taking $8 million in USAID funds, which, by the way, is about the equivalent or more than all of their staff salaries.
Oh, jeez. 100%.
House Speaker Mike Johnson has just gavelled the House into session after a quiet recess this week. He immediately declared Musk's take on the House product terribly wrong and very disappointing, and revealed he'd walked the tech mogul through the bill as recently as Monday. Senate Majority Leader John Thune, characteristically diplomatic, and the only GOP senators, have a difference of opinion with Musk, and that he hoped he'll come to a different conclusion. Chuck Schumer, emerging from the Democratic lunch with a print of the Post and giddily telling reporters, I agree with Elon Musk.
Of course.
Whether Musk, with all the power he wielded in Washington over the past several months, will now be able to shape a mega bill or kill entirely is another question. He's entitled to his opinion, said Tom Tillis. No, whether his message would affect the bill, he says no. So anyways, I like Elon, but he's just one man, says Kevin Kramer. So you're starting to see, you can kind of see a little pressure there.
Uh-huh.
Right? Like, so you're going to let Elon kill the bill? They're trying to split the base. You know what I mean? Trying to get the base to think that they're divided. What if this is one of those plays where Trump's like, listen, I got to keep the rhinos on my side, so I need the pressure to come from you on the outside.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Because I need the border and I need this and I need that, and I can't let them bargain with me, but you can bargain with them by threatening their seat and primarying them.
Yep.
Okay. I'm not saying that is happening.
No, but it's
okay. Because simultaneously, like Scott Bessent and Elon Musk apparently don't quite get along, even though they say they do. But again, who knows? Scoop, 4 reasons Musk attacks the big, beautiful bill. Another legacy media Axios that Elon Musk just told us not to read, but like dogs to our vomit we go. Scoop, 4 reasons Musk attacked Trump's big, beautiful bill. Okay. Number 1, Elon was butthurt, said one source.
just always got to throw that in there.
Yeah.
Even if you only had 3 reasons, now you got 4.
Elon butthurt. Apparently, Elon Musk and Scott Bessent got in a huge yelling argument in the White House where Elon Musk was like, "You're not even a very good CEO." And Musk was like, "You ran a hedge fund into the ground." And they were like, "I hate you and I hate you." And Elon Musk wanted, I think, Letnick to be Secretary of Commerce, and Bessent wanted to, or Secretary of Treasury, and Bessent ended up winning out on that. And so Letnick ended up at Commerce. And, keep in mind, Elon Musk, yeah, he's great, but he's got his own thing. I don't love his business in China, but as a entrepreneur, how could you not do business in China the last 20 years?
Yeah.
So some of these guys, I do think there's some of them that are like, the carrots and sticks of business took me here, but donkey didn't really want to go. You know what I mean? Like I do think there is some of that for sure. Elon Musk probably that way. If he could pull out of China, he might. I don't know though. No doubt he's carried water for China in the past though. And again, sometimes business wise, everything's hunky dory, and then you run into the wall of tyranny. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what happens. Oh, the business is great. They capitalize us. We built this factory. The bottom line is great. Hey, why are the lights on at night? Don't worry. Wait, what's going on here? Don't worry. We have a contract. Yeah, but you're not supposed to be using the facility at night to sell on Alibaba. Oh, we're doing that. Well, I'm going to take you to court. No, you can't go to court. Not in China. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, oh, and then all of a sudden you run into the wall of despotism and you're like, yeah, I don't like this. Okay, 4 reasons why Elon Musk doesn't like the bill. And this is what's great about this show.
Let's get to a real reason.
All the little tidbits. The legislation cuts the electric vehicle tax that helps car makers like Tesla, Musk Tesla. As of late April, his company had spent at least $240,000 lobbying on behalf of the credit and other company matters. Behind the scenes, sources say Musk also advocated for the measure in the legislation, but to no avail. Does this ring true to you? Didn't we just watch a clip from Elon Musk about subsidies and the EV credit, and he says, delete it? Do you remember this?
Yeah, this doesn't ring true at all.
We just heard Elon Musk with his big head on a massive screen in front of hundreds of people being asked about the bill and the EV credit. Delete it. I'm not lobbying for it. We don't need subsidies for gas stations.
Yep.
We don't need subsidies for cars. Ford wanted it. I don't want it.
Yep.
So is that reason number 1 why he doesn't like the bill? Because the EV credit didn't make it? Isn't that what Elon wanted out of his own mouth?
Reason number 1 is he was butthurt.
Butthurt. Reason number 2, Musk was working at the White House as what he called a special government employee and had discussed trying to stay on that role beyond the 130-day time limit set by statute for an unpaid advisory position. But ultimately, White House officials said he couldn't keep serving in that capacity. Is that true or false? From day one, we knew he was only going to be around for 130 days.
Yeah.
He talked about that openly.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to be in the cabinet or have an appointed position. It's not about the money.
It's not like he doesn't have anything else going on.
It's not like he doesn't have anything else to do. Like, I'm pretty sure this is precisely what was planned and intended from the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay. But remember how they tried to make it whole Elon's trying to be the dictator and Elon's running the show?
Yeah.
So now in order to paint Elon's bad, well, he didn't get his golden seat at the right hand of Donald Trump. He's not co-vice president. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Is this?
But he will be back.
He's still around.
Yeah.
You don't leave. Listen, if you're on the speed dial of the president, you never left.
Yeah.
Okay? Just because you're not in the room next door doesn't mean you're not there.
Right.
All right. Musk also wanted the Federal Aviation Administration to use Starlink satellite system for national air traffic control. The sources said, but the administration balked at it because of the appearance of a conflict of interest and for technological reasons. You can't have air traffic control just run off satellites, the second source said. I don't know anything about that.
That sounds like a topic you could talk about, but I don't think that's it.
A deal kill, like
right? No.
You know? Oh, okay.
No.
The final straw for Musk appeared to become Saturday night when Trump abruptly announced he was withdrawing the nomination of Jared Isaacman, a Musk ally, to be a NASA administrator.
I don't know anything about that.
So this guy basically just hated Trump, donated to Democrats. Trump wanted him to be the NASA director. Apparently he's a good technical knowledge guy, but his values aren't aligned. So Trump just said, based on his prior associations, I'm taking him out, because that's a lot of power there.
Yep.
You know, any of these, the thing with these bureaucracies, what you have to recognize is they're fiefdoms. They're little kingdoms.
Yeah.
So when you put someone in charge of NASA, they have a budget, which, well, heaven forbid, they have a magic money printer, right? They've got a budget. They've got top secret clearances. You can hide documents there. They've got investigator generals. That can
and they've got to have some autonomy over that budget.
It's not just the autonomy, but it's raw power. I mean, you know, any of these agencies can hide things. Any of these agencies can, you know, be a seat of the deep state.
Well, those budgets are large enough in and of themselves that they are the power.
And when you think about this, you know, we talked about Ezra Taft Benson when he was the Secretary of Agriculture, and he was talking a lot about infiltration of the communists into the Department of Agriculture. Why? Food supply, land, you know, farmers. This is like, you can't control money if you can't control food kind of stuff.
This was back in like the 60s.
What if I told you that the way the communists, through subversion, because remember, they learned a lot in the Russian Revolution on how to make this work and what does and doesn't work. And in infiltration is better. What area has less people thinking national security and spies than the Department of Agriculture? Just a bunch of hick farmers and ranchers, right? And some chicken farmers. They're a completely different breed.
Yeah.
Okay. So why not infiltrate there and then operate out of there, recruit into there, get people into the civil service? Because once you become a deputy secretary of the budget office of agriculture, you know, why not move over to commerce? And the next thing you know, you're working at the House of Representatives in the budget office.
The Department of Defense.
Because that's how it works, right? Oh yeah, you're good at managing numbers. You're good at managing employees. And so they get their little civil service, you know, rank.
Shit.
And then it's just boop, 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 and they just start moving around. Oh, I'm looking for a promotion. So what do? You move whole departments. You know, that's how they do it. That's what the civil service does. So does he really want that? I don't know. The NASA thing, I could see how he'd be a little bit upset, but upset enough to be like, take the bill. It's over.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
No.
Don't believe the legacy media. I don't know what's going on here. Maybe Elon's really pissed. Maybe the numbers are bad. Maybe the White House is lying to us. Or against all the odds of everything we've seen happening, you're viewing.
It's part of the plan.
This is the WWE masterpiece.
Yep.
This is what you're watching, the potential pincher move. This isn't Q stuff. This could all fall apart because nobody knows the end from the beginning when you're at war. We're at war with China, clearly. We're at war with the deep state, clearly. We're at war with the globalists, clearly. Right?
Yep.
And
just like Mike Tyson says, everybody has a plan until you get punched in the face.
Yep, exactly. Exactly.